We're calling to order 6:33. Thank you all for being here on this Wednesday, middle of March already. Hard to believe. But here we are. So thank you for giving up part of your evening to be here. No public is present, so there's nothing to do there. We'll just go right into the minutes from February. February 14th. And boy, oh boy, what an idiot I appear to be, but I think we're gonna take a motion to accept them and then we make changes. Or we make change, thank you, Maureen. All right, and somebody want to move that we accept the minutes?
I'd be happy to move. We accept the minutes.
Okay, second, anybody?
I'll
Julie?
second, Julie.
Julie seconded. Any discussion? I have a couple, I just have two things. Well, three things. Under 3C, where it says March home instead, that could either go under I, letter I, because that's where that is. That's what that is. It's caretaking during the caretaker support group.
So you're saying combine it with I?
Yeah, you could combine them. I mean, because the home instead is going to provide the caretaking for companions during the caretaker support group. Or you could just leave it out, truthfully, the whole item. But probably it would be a good idea to move it down to I. That home instead will be providing care for the caretaker's companion. In other words, the caretaker can come bring his or her companion, and his or her companion can be in another room being cared for by somebody, well, a team from home instead. That's part of what the grant is covering. And then there's
how do we refer to the person who's being cared for? How are we going to refer to those clients, patients?
Karen,
We've been referring to them as their loved one, but that's primarily how we've been referring to them, as their loved one that they're the caretaker for.
Okay.
I don't know, a great one.
Okay, I'll rewrite that
I'm
so it's
open to
combined.
suggestions on that.
When Jim, what did you say? Did you have a phrase, your wordsmithing?
No, I thought loved one was a nice positive.
Okay. Okay, and that it's a bigger time frame. It's the 4 hours of care. That's important too, because caretakers can go out and take a walk or run an errand or whatever. They have time to do that, so that's nice. And then the other change is down at the bottom. I don't think 7:34, I think we adjourned, not 7:04.
Oh, okay.
And I know you were anxious to get to your chocolate, so you probably didn't notice. And Maureen Hickey has an E in it.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. That's all.
I will make those changes and then I'll submit them to the town for the permanent record.
Anybody else, any other notice? Okay. So all in favor as of accepting the minutes as with those modifications? Aye. Aye. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, and I think there was a late distribution of the financial report that we haven't seen, but Karen's gonna talk us through it. And we won't vote on it. We'll defer the vote till next month when we can actually see it, but Karen's gonna tell us something about it.
Yeah, financial report, nothing exciting. We're on track with where we should be for salaries, drivers, spending, all that. I have to send the van in for another new tire, but it's still within the budget, so we're okay. Hopefully not too much more than that. There are 2 lights on, so it's going in next week. So fingers crossed that it's nothing big.
Oh, never exciting.
Exactly. But no, otherwise financially we're in good shape.
Okay, good. And do you want to, we will vote on that next month, accepting it when we see it, but what else is your do you want to give your director's report, move into your director's report?
Yeah, so for the rest of that, so financial, you know that this group knows that the finance committee and town council both approved the eliminating the part-time activities position and refunding the full-time position.
Right.
The timeline on that will be after town meeting. Once the budget is approved at town meeting, then it's 12 days after town meeting that the budget's ratified. And at that point, we can move forward with looking for somebody. The person currently in the position does not want to stay full-time. So
Oh.
she'll be with us through the end of June, and then we'll be looking to hire somebody to begin 1 July. So that will be in the works, probably, I'm guessing, May by the time it gets ratified after town meeting. Our numbers for the month looked good. We had total programs and class participants of 1,518, which is about where we've been the past couple of months. That includes 2 closures, one for the holiday and one for the snow day. Transportation has still been busy. A lot of transportation to the center, 174 rides, 86 of those to the center. Market Basket, we consistently bring 9 people every week to Market Basket. And then medical appointments, etc. So rides have been going well and continuing to be strong. And we have a lot of interest in the MBTA overlay presentation that's happening later this month.
Really? Huh,
Oh, yes, we have over 40 people signed up.
okay.
So that's gonna be a good one. Our cooking classes have been a huge success. Our chef is amazing. Everybody loves him. We are limiting the class to 10 participants because they're actually in the kitchen helping to do the cooking. And there's so much interest that we're having to do. If you did this class, you can't do the next 2 classes just to give everyone a fair chance. But it's been a great addition, and it's something that if he's still willing to work with us after the grant is over in the fall, we'll bring him back, just not, I'll use the formula grant, or we'll have participants help chip in for the cost of the food to be able to continue to offer the class.
That's great. So he'll do it for free? Am I understanding that right?
He's
How's he,
been volunteering.
he's gonna volunteer after the grant? That's wonderful.
He's actually volunteering now, but yeah, he's amazing. Everybody loves him. And the food is really good. Today we had quiche, 3 different kinds of quiche and Irish soda bread. And it's the best Irish soda bread I've ever had in my life. I can't stop eating it. I need to walk home to try and burn some of the calories.
Sounds like a huge success.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's been a fun thing to add.
Wonderful. So when you say, I misunderstood, or I didn't understand what you said about the next 2 classes you can't have because you're repeating the same class for the volume of people?
No, we're gonna have them. We're just letting, like, if you got to go to this cooking class, then you don't get to sign up for the
Oh, I
next
see what
cooking
you're
class.
saying.
We're gonna
Okay,
do-
I see. Okay, so it's different
Perfect.
people. It'll be different people. That's fair. That sounds good.
I'm
Okay.
getting lots of calls about the senior tax workout program. In case you get calls out there in the community, the window for applications will open April 15th through June 15th. And then I'll start doing matches after that. We'll match the same thing as last year, 20 people. So a few jobs that require specialties we'll be able to repeat, but otherwise we try and bring in as many new people that haven't
New
participated
people.
last year or
Yeah.
2. So
Good.
that will continue. With the party on Friday, we have about 62, 63 signed up, which we thought was pretty good for a Friday. And during Lent, when we're serving a meat dish. So we're excited about that. And Maureen Howlett is going to be our entertainer during that. She's got some jokes and songs, and we'll play some music.
So is it a corned beef dinner? Is that what's being served?
Shepherd's pie.
Oh, shepherd's pie.
Yeah, which is being donated to 2 very large trays of shepherd pie. It's being donated by Brightview. They made it for us last year as well, and it was really good.
Hmm.
We didn't do corned beef because we thought it's high sodium. We didn't want
Yeah,
to.
not a good.
Figured if they want it, they can get it someplace this
Yeah,
time of
no,
year.
get it on the weekend somewhere, yeah. Okay, well, it sounds like it's hopping there for sure. And I know, Sherry, you said you were going.
I'm gonna help, yes.
Yeah, do you need any more help, Karen?
I have one other volunteer coming in to help, so I think we should be okay. I mean, that'll be 2 or 3 of us serving. If anybody wants to come, there's always room for help in serving, but we can manage with the 4 that we have.
Okay,
But if somebody's hanging out at their house with nothing to do and wants to swing on by, we won't turn you away.
yeah, 11-ish, 11:15. Okay,
Yeah,
I've lots
serving
of
food at
waitressing
11:30.
experience. I'm used to serving a lot of people, so I can do it.
Great. No, thank
Yeah,
you.
it goes pretty fast. And then we have some competition. I think that was part. We lost a few of our people who usually come because they're serving corned beef and cabbage up at Harts Hill, I believe, or at Harts Hill Heights for at about the same time. So we lost a couple of our regulars to that. And they are serving corned beef and cabbage.
Well, it goes that way. They have two meals to choose from, so.
They
Yeah, they'll be back. Okay.
we lost them to the corned beef and cabbage, but that's okay. Our feelings were only hurt for a minute.
Is Maureen, is there gonna be some music?
Yeah, she has. We're gonna use. We're gonna stream some music, some good Irish music, and then she's very outgoing and energetic. I'm sure you all know that. So she's gonna do some talking with the crowd and tell some jokes and
Mhm.
other stuff. I think she's gonna do some singing. I'm not really sure. I'm letting her
Yeah, that'll be fun.
do all the entertainment, but she's good at that, so it'll be fine. But we are gonna play some regular traditional Irish music too. The IT department was a huge help to us in fixing our stereo. So they did that for us a few weeks ago, and they actually are going to help me set up a Bluetooth receiver in it. So they've been a big, tremendous help to
Oh,
us.
great. Is there anything that you want from us, that you need from us, specific or in general, that we don't know about yet, or? I always put a little section in here called board opportunities. Do you need us for something coming up?
No, I don't think so. If anybody comes to the overlay discussion, I may have you help us, but we have 3 of us here, so we should be fine for that. We're going to just serve sandwiches, so it's easy. Keep them fed while Erin's presenting the same presentation she gave us. But no, I feel very supported by all of you. I feel there's nothing that I need right now.
Did you remember last month, we did talk a little bit about making sure that she included the negatives, if any, if it was if it was voted down, or if it was, what would be the consequences of not doing it? If we went rogue like Milton?
Oh, yeah, she'll talk about that. I think that that's probably gonna be an updated part of the conversation because
Yeah, I'm sure.
what's happening in Milton hadn't happened yet when we first got it. So I think
Right,
it's gonna be some people watching that, but
Yeah,
I'm sure there are gonna be some hard questions that are gonna be asked, which I think is good, so people could be prepared to vote at town meeting. And that was the idea of it, was make sure that you are prepared to give people what they need so they can make a decision for what they want for
right.
the town and town.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a lively discussion. Okay, thank
Should be
you.
fun.
Okay, any other questions or comments for Karen from anyone? Quiet group tonight.
Mm.
All
We
right,
did have
now,
one
Do
member.
do we vote for that? Vote to accept the director's report?
I don't know, do we? Oh, my goodness.
Sherry, I think we do, right?
Why don't we? I think it's, we kind of heard Karen's report, and I don't think we have to wait until we see it in print.
No, the financial report, we want to wait. I just want people to, all right, so, I make a motion, we accept the director's report as delivered.
Second,
Second from Maureen. Any more discussion? All right, I saw a lot of hands go up, so that was an affirmative vote. Accept it.
Hey, Susan, I'm watching closely because the woman who wanted to come in and speak was having trouble getting a link, so I emailed it to her. So I'm just watching my email to see if she pops back on and says she wants it, but I don't, do you see anybody waiting to come in right now?
No,
Okay, she may pop in, she may not, I don't know.
okay, well, that,
Is it someone who's perhaps interested in joining the COA?
No,
it's someone who has some conversation, I think, about the position, the board position from the housing authority.
Ah, okay.
So I'm gonna switch these two items then, just in case she does pop in. And the next one we'll do is the orientation, just if people had a chance to look through that, and I thank everyone that worked on that, and everyone that had comments on Sherry and Christina in particular, and Karen, so if you had a chance to look at it, what'd you think?
I looked at it briefly, but I liked it a lot. I like the tone of it. It seemed to be friendly and inviting and offering information on more of a personal level. So again, I haven't gone through everything with it,
Okay.
but what I did look at, I was favorably impressed.
Okay, good. It is a fluid document, it's a fluid document. But let's get it, our goal is to get it in place and use it, and then as we need to revise it if we do going forward. Um, Other comments, other questions?
So
Other,
I have a question.
yeah,
So is the plan that we will distribute this to anyone who's new and then actually walk them through the document?
yeah, I will have a conversation with them. Well,
Okay.
because if you vote me out, I'll have a conversation with a new board member. Before, as he or she comes on board, if we get one. And then the plan would be that somebody could walk them through that. It doesn't have to be me, but I'm willing to take it on for the first time. And I think, all those links that I put in there, that were put in there, and Sherry had Christina had put some in, they do link. There will be some things that will be sent, because I couldn't, like the board membership, the makeup of the board, that's gonna change. And that'll be a document that we'll send to a new board member. We will also send the Robert's Rules of Order until I can figure out how to link it. And the third thing that would be sent, well, right now, the bylaws, because there's no link that exists yet for the bylaws, but everything else seems to link, I hope.
Yeah,
Effective.
I checked out the links. They looked good.
Oh, good. Okay, thanks, Julie.
Nice
But
job,
yes,
Susan.
well, it was a team effort, believe me. It wasn't a, a lot of people, this document, like our bylaws, passed through a lot of eyes and sections and ideas. So, but to answer to your question, Sherry, in general, that would definitely be I don't think the whole part of the whole purpose of doing this is to welcome somebody, bring them on board. So it's not just saying, here, read this book. Well, I mean, we're not gonna walk somebody through the handbook, that other thing that we want them to read, but our orientation. And, I don't have to own it, but I will do the first one unless somebody's dying to do it.
I
Do
will
we have
the
anybody-
first
One of the things
orientation.
that we definitely have to make sure we review, because I see this confusion all the time with my other commission, is if you are chairing a subcommittee and there's at least two of you present from the COA, how to properly set up a Zoom meeting, what kind of notification, because the notification is the same as we do for board meetings.
I know.
And it's, so you can't just decide to meet on the fly.
Right.
If there's two of you, you have to go through proper channels.
Yeah, I get notices for the human rights, and I see sometimes there's a subcommittee meeting. Fortunately, we really haven't had that. We haven't had an official subcommittee meeting or an unofficial subcommittee meeting, even because we haven't had subcommittees. But that's right. It has to be an open meeting, publish, notice 72 hours, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, you're fortunate to have Karen and her staff planning your events. We do it all with volunteers. So
I
it's
know, yeah,
all
I
subcommittees.
know. It's a different,
Yeah.
it's a very different thing, for sure.
And as a side note to that, today I did send Karen information with the link to the event we just had last Thursday night for
Yeah,
International
yeah.
Women's Day, so that anyone who was not able to attend, the women were fantastic,
Oh, good.
funny, candid, and it's, less than an hour and you will find it inspiring. They were just terrific.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
So Karen has that information for all of us.
Oh, thanks, Terry. I can send it out to everybody. And
Yeah,
thank you for
you
sharing.
would.
I wasn't able to go.
Yeah,
I'll send it out right now.
I couldn't go either. All right, anybody else on the orientation? Are we good to launch? Try it out next month or 2 more months? Okay. And I will, everyone here will be a test case. I'm gonna pretend that we're all new. And send you when we get our new board member, send you an orientation packet. all right, and said, well, they won't say draft on it, it'll be real and the attachments will be there, and so then, for just pretend that you don't know anything and take the role of the beginner again.
And actually, would be a great exercise if we alternate helping the new board members, that not just one person does it, but each of us get a turn, because it's a good review for us.
Yep. Yep, okay, thank you for that. All right, we're gonna move on, there's no voting here, we're gonna move on to the bylaws, because this is a voting, the person's not here, so here we go.
She just emailed me that she's gonna type me her concerns, so I will read them to all of you when I receive them.
You, like now, within this framework, within this time frame?
Well, if she gets them in time, she does. If she doesn't, she doesn't.
Okay, well,
She knows her meeting, so would be the way I would look at it, right? I mean, I'm happy to read them if she gets them to me in time, but I don't think the board should delay.
right, I don't either, we want to get this done. Okay, so the final doesn't mean the last, but the revision that Karen sent out dated February 16th is the one we're looking at the present time, which has been vetted, correct me if I'm wrong, has been vetted by the town attorney, town council, the council, like lawyer council. And it has all of, it has the wordsmithing and the changes that that people have suggested. It has some of the language changes. So the only, and there's a couple things here that are crossed off, which are gonna come off, right, when we re-edit it. But they're already crossed out. I was a little confused by that, Karen, but,
I accepted all of his small changes, like grammatical kind of things that didn't change content, but I left in there his track changes for what he proposes. And
okay,
interestingly enough, he proposes, his question was, why do we have a term limit? And he suggested that shouldn't be in there, that should be removed, and that it's at the discretion of the council. So if we had a member who we thought wasn't pulling their weight, when they try and go for a re-up at their second term, it would be the council's decision to say, we don't support this person continuing on or asking for that. And I think that's it. Are his comments coming up for you guys when you pull the track changes? I gotta pull it up again.
all right,
But
I,
that was his recommendation.
The
That
track
was-
changes
that's
in
why I
red.
left it.
so we're on Article 2 membership somewhere.
So Karen, you're saying that the term is the discretion of the council itself. I'm very interested in this because the HRC has 3-year terms right now, and we were talking about whether or not they could be 2 instead of 3.
Yeah, well, not the term itself, but how many consecutive. So he put for his comment, if you're on page 2,
Oh.
down, you see the little red on the side. And then I don't know what view, you have to change it to the track changes view on your Word document. But if you pull it, do that, the comment that goes with the red is over to the right.
What
And
section
his-
are you in? What section, please? Article
Section-
2,
Article 2,
right, but section A, section B, just,
section D.
okay, all right, yeah, membership, all right.
So Tom's comment on over to the right is, so the section is membership is limited to 2 consecutive 3-year terms, except for the housing authorities. That's what we just added, was the housing authority
Right.
part.
Right,
And Tom said, where does this come from? I don't believe the council can set term limits for itself, since the charter vests the town council with discretion concerning the appointment of members. I would delete this section and re-letter the next one as D. So he's suggesting we just completely eliminate the whole 2-year or 2-term. I just read it to you. That's what he's suggesting, which is what required us to really get into the discussion about making sure we're able to keep somebody from housing on to begin with, because we didn't want to lose Maureen, who would have had to have left because of this 2-year term limit that Tom doesn't even think we should have in here. I still like keeping the housing part in there, but he's suggesting we not even have it. Can you guys see it if you change to track changes?
well, I'm looking at paper myself, I'm not looking
Yeah.
at the document.
Yeah, I don't see it either, but this is very interesting to me, because I thought that was something that was decided not by us, but by the town as a whole, and that all of the different councils and commissions were subject to 2-term limits.
Can you guys see it? I'm trying to share a screen with you.
And maybe, do I have to give you?
Oh,
permission?
Susan has
Yeah.
to give you sharing privileges.
Wait a minute.
Sherry, do you have a 2-year limit on the human
Oh,
rights?
yeah,
You
I
do.
definitely do.
We don't, I mean, the housing authority is not necessarily completely governed by the town, but there's no limit on the housing authority board.
Okay,
You should be able to share, Karen.
yeah. See, I thought
Sure.
this was the case across the board in all the towns, commissions. And
I
if it
think this was
isn't,
changed at some point by Judy.
hmm,
I remember
was.
yeah, so I don't think it was always that way. It was like an update to the bylaws.
well, honestly, the HRC is a lot more demanding. And most people after 2-3-year terms are ready to step down and allow others to take the positions.
It's not letting me share for some reason, but yeah, it was changed. It was changed. Well, in sometime in Judy's term, it was changed for that. I had asked the question to Sherry and to Betsy, and they had given me that same thing that Judy had changed it. I think some of the other boards and commissions do have that same, but it's certainly not required.
Who's Betsy?
So I thought,
Who's Betsy?
So it's not required to
the town
step down.
clerk,
The town clerk.
Okay.
Okay.
And who's Tom that is making these recommendations?
the attorney, the city's attorney, city's list, our town attorney.
Town Mullen.
An
Right.
important one to consider their opinion of, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So was he kind of indicating that we shouldn't, he was kind of saying that he didn't think we should have that.
That's just a term limit, but he did not have anything. He was fine because we also put up an Article 2 membership in the council shall consist of 7 members, one of whom shall be a staff member of the Wakefield housing. So he left that in there. He didn't have any problem with that. He was just
Okay.
saying we should have the term limits.
Okay.
The only, I mean, I guess, hypothetically, what if, so what would be well, it'd be up to the town council, I suppose, the process, let's just say the people that are on the council want to stay forever, they want to be lifelong members, and new people want to get on without that 2-year limit, without that 2-term limit. Who has the decision-making power, the recommendation power to say, well, no, we don't want Susan Jepson anymore, we want somebody new?
I would say the town council, right, Karen?
I think so, right? Because so if we use Joanne as an example, if she wanted to go again, she would still go up, but Sherry still advertised the seat. So
Right.
so a new person could still say, I'm still interested. So then it's the town council's responsibility. In ours, usually they have us look at it too, to look at all of the packages. So just because somebody's on it already doesn't necessarily mean they would be the next selection. If somebody else came in, then they may interview them or do what they want.
Would they check with you though, or would they, I mean, I don't, I'm not looking for a hard and fast rule here, but
I think so. I think they would check with you and I both. They would send the packages and say,
Okay.
here's the package we've gotten. And I would assume that we would be allowed to say, here's who we would recommend. The town council probably doesn't have to follow our recommendations, but I know for past open seats, I've gotten the packages. It's not ever come to having to choose because we've had people, like if we had 2 openings, we had 2 applicants.
right,
So I'm not sure what would
I
happen
know,
if we had more.
I know. Well, we're trying to rebrand the council so that everybody wants to be on it. That's our goal. That's one of our goals, right?
Exactly.
It's the committee to be on.
That's right.
It is.
That's right. But yeah, I understand that it's a very small likelihood. But even in terms of, I mean, Joanne did say, I can't do this anymore. She was gracious and she did what she was supposed to do and said, I can't, this just isn't working for me now. My life has changed, and that's great.
Yeah.
But if somebody didn't do that and we didn't want them and they hadn't yet missed their 5 meetings or whatever, following.
They'd still have to be reappointed. So if she had wanted to run again, she would have submitted her application, but if
Yeah,
5 other people
okay.
had also wanted to, then we'd have to look at all 6 applications to say, is there somebody else that should come on?
Yeah, okay.
Like, you have to re-earn your seat, essentially.
And if that didn't exist, I would say having a stated term limit is excellent because you do want, fresh people coming on with new ideas. You don't want it to be a lifeline. I know I went through this with my client boards, and they all had term limits. And even if they said they must leave the commission or board for 1 year before coming back on again, just to give other people a chance and to
Mhm.
get some fresh ideas.
Well, this is 2 years, the way it reads now. After 2 years, like people, I don't know, as the boss, Karen, what do you think? I mean, how do you feel about it?
I feel comfortable taking the term limits off because I trust the process with, I have to plug my phone in before it dies. But I trust the process that, I mean, I don't know, it's hard to say because I haven't experienced some of, I guess, what would have led people to want to put those in place. But in my experience, people are part of the board or the commission council because they want to be. And if they don't, then they would say, yeah, this maybe wasn't what I thought it was, or it's not for me. And then we get new people in. So I don't see it being a huge problem. I guess if it really became a huge problem, then we could
We could put it
change the
back
bylaw.
in. If
put
we
it back
take it
in.
out, we could put it back in with 7 days notice and the vote.
Yeah, because I feel like because you have the safeguard in place with, I get that you want new blood in, but I feel like if you have a lot of applicants and somebody who's been on for 2 or 3 terms may say, oh yeah, I do think it's time to give somebody else a chance.
Yeah,
But I'm not like hard set on it either way. I'm the most excited to be able to have a housing person on because I do think that's a huge benefit.
And I mean, I think this is good too, that the town council, they make the decision, Karen. So it takes it, you know what I mean, from this board, the town
Right.
council does their process to appoint committee members, and they will reach out to the chairperson and the director and, you know, consult with you about the applicants that they get.
Yeah, and I do think it's a nice way that they review the resume, they review they review what people's experiences are to be a part of it, because sometimes new isn't necessarily better. So you may have somebody not qualified at all who's interested, but I think it's a good way to vet the membership, and I trust our town council to take that job. I know that they take that seriously.
Christina, Julie, Jim, any thoughts, opinions?
I was comfortable with the wording that as it was there about the limited to 2 consecutive terms. I think that still gives a lot of flexibility and new opportunity for new voices to come on. So I'm in support of what is written here.
I spend all day telling folks to listen to legal counsel, so I would err on the side to agree with Tom, if that was his recommendation. And to Karen's point about having not been in the situation, is there any opportunity to annually always open applications for the board? And then if there is no term limit, review the applications annually, and that way you're always leaving it open for new members? And I'm not sure if it would ever come to the point where we'd say, you know, there's someone really awesome. Is anyone looking to take a break from the board and welcome this new person? I don't know if that's ever a thing.
So you keep your 3-year term. I feel like the words are using interchangeably. So you keep your 3-year terms. So at the end of 3 years, you could decide want to try to do another 3-year term, or
Right.
I feel like the same word is being used for 2 separate things, and I don't know what the right words are. But
Yeah,
3-year,
no, you're right. It was
on-
but okay, so then at the point where someone's 3 years is almost up, I wonder if it could be a conversation of, do you want to open up the application and see? I don't know.
It
That was-
automatically
yeah.
does that. So if Joanne had wanted to run again and 10 other people wanted to also have her seat, then she would have to recompete, not compete. That's not the right word.
So
but
that's
she would
already
have to-
happening, I guess.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
You would
and
have to
it's
reapply.
staggered.
Anybody would have to reapply. I had to reapply when my first 3-year term was up.
And we
Yeah.
don't all have the same anniversaries.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, you
right.
have to be reappointed by the town council.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So they would do their process that they do, they advertise it and
Right. And then
applications.
even if you're current, you have to reapply.
And it's staggered that way so that we don't have.
And
Yeah.
I like the fact that someone said, you know, the fact that town council reviews all applicant packets and decides who will serve as a safeguard against not giving others a chance to serve. The best candidates will be chosen.
Does the opposite ever happen where somebody might want to stay on and you don't have enough applicants, so you have these open seats? I mean, right now, there's no way if somebody wanted to stay on beyond the 2 terms. Or is in your experience, there's always enough volunteers and it all works out?
I think it's been, from what I've heard through, you know, the history, that occasionally that does arise, that there's an empty seat for a while and somebody comes on, you know, the town doesn't stop looking for somebody.
I
And
just
so
want to do a quick pause to make sure everybody knows, Kathy Florent has joined us
Hello,
as a
Kathy.
member of the public. She was trying to get on earlier.
Yeah.
Just so you know, there's a new person in.
Hello, Kathy.
Yeah, welcome. I know you're here and you probably have picked up, we're talking about our bylaws right now. And we're revising our bylaws, and one of the revisions has to do with term limit for board members. So that's what we're discussing right now.
Susan, I think we have to have one of the board members make a motion to pause the meeting to go back to public comments in order to be able to
Okay.
do public participation. If I remember correctly from my board days.
All right, thank you.
And
Then
Kathy,
Sherry, do you know that's
for our
right?
record, I would like to have your last name.
Sure. It's Florent, F as in Frank, Leura, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom.
Fleurant.
Correct.
All right, can
Okay,
I have
thank
a
you.
motion that we pause the meeting and go back to public comment?
Second,
Who first did it? Who made it?
I like it. Julie.
Okay, Julie made it, Jim seconded, okay. All right, so then discussion is paused, we're back to public comment. Kathy,
Yes.
that's you. What would you like to?
Well, I think it was last month when I was talking to Karen Burke about a proposal to have the local housing authority executive director become a permanent member of the Council on Aging. And I just really see that as a conflict of interest. Now, there are no boards, commissions, or committees in the town of Wakefield that have cross memberships, mostly because of appearances. And the staff and the executive director are not special employees that they could do this. And on top of it, you would be putting whoever that person is serving 2 masters, as opposed to just having their own interest in their paying job. So that's where I'm coming from. It would be the same thing that the town accountant does not sit on the finance committee. There's no one from the let's say the Board of Appeals that sits on the planning board. Do you understand what I'm saying? They have similarities, but it just doesn't look right.
Okay, thank you for coming and voicing that. Karen, is that
Thank
you
you
on the
for having me.
iPhone? Is that you? The I-38138? Okay, I just wanted to be sure that was still you. Thank you. I
Okay, back to business.
back to business.
Yep, a public comment is a public comment. It's
Okay,
not
all right.
a discussion.
Do we need a motion to go back to business?
I don't think so.
Okay, we're gonna go
Did we
back.
have a motion on the table for the bylaws?
Not yet.
Not
Oh,
yet.
okay.
Okay. All right, we're back to item on the agenda, the bylaws, considering the bylaws and putting them to a vote as they're written in front of us. And Kathy has made her comment. So,
Thank you.
so, I would just like to say, Jim, I'd like to ask you if what's been said about the town council process for vetting or for getting feedback about board potential applicants. Does that feel sufficient to you? And to eliminate the term limits?
Right, I could go along with that. That's not, I don't have a problem with that at all.
Okay. Okay. All right, we would need a motion, since we do need a motion to vote on the bylaws. Would anyone like to?
I don't think we're done discussing
Question.
that though, because there is another section.
Well, we probably should have a motion on the table before.
Yeah,
we
that,
discuss it.
Maureen, that's when Maureen said that. I think we should have a motion and then the discussion.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay.
Unless we're gonna make changes and bring them back next month. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
I think we can make the motion and make that change.
Yeah, we can approve or not, we can.
Right,
approve.
or not approve it, yep.
Yeah, because we're taking out that section. We are taking, right now, I guess it looks like we're proposing. All right, I'm gonna make the motion that we move ahead and vote on our bylaws as they're presented with the following changes to date. And that is that we remove at the recommendation as a suggestion of the town council. We remove under membership, section D.
So I don't want to interrupt, but there are two sections that we need to discuss. So I don't know if you need to vote on the one and then vote on the second, or if you want to discuss them both
No,
before you
no.
vote, because there's another section that needs discussing.
Yeah, no,
You
we're
can
just,
vote on them all together.
so right now,
So I think,
we're just putting on the sticky note, the bylaws with one change so far, section Z, under membership is being eliminated.
all right, so everybody is good if I track change and delete that,
Yep,
because I'll resend it out to you as soon as we're done. So I'm gonna do that. So the next section that has the red highlight from Tom that was that needed to be discussed is in Article 3, Section B. Under special meetings. He struck in red the last sentence that begins with "for the Wakefield community," and his comment is, "I don't recommend that we make notice more burdensome than it already is under open meeting law. Do you want to have to forego a meeting because it didn't get posted on the website 72 hours in advance?" So he's recommending we strike that.
okay, I'm sorry, could you do that again for a minute? Just,
Sure. Sorry, under section B, under Article 3, Section B, special meetings.
yeah,
Beginning with the word, on the second line, beginning with the word "for the Wakefield community, not less than 72 hours prior to the meeting designating the purpose, hour, and place of such meeting." He's recommending that we strike that, and in place we put "in accordance with the open meeting law."
I think that's a good idea.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a good
That's
idea
fine.
too.
The wording that was in there is the wording that appears in the town's handbook specifically, but it is maybe a bit redundant. All we have to say is the open meeting laws, and that refers to that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of a no-brainer. That's good.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Accept that. And that's it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but those are the two ones that had changes other than just minor edits.
Yeah.
So now they're done.
Okay,
I have a comment on another section if we're ready to move.
yes.
This is Article 5, staff.
Mm-hmm,
It's
yep,
just is my confusion here. It starts out saying employees of the council. And I don't know what that refers to. If it means employees of the town.
no,
and
the council on aging, like,
there's also I'm sorry. The last part of that sentence was the director of the council. And I'm not sure who the director of the council is.
that's Karen.
Karen,
She's
Karen-
not the director of the senior center?
Well,
No.
no, her official title is Director of the Council on Aging.
Oh, all right.
I agree with you.
but
It's a
maybe
little-
it should say employees of the Council on Aging, just to kind of, I mean, it's kind of repetitive, but it ties it in.
Yeah, so it's the people that actually get a paycheck from the town that work at the senior center. I think they all work at the senior center or they drive. So employees of the Council on Aging, is that what you're proposing, Maureen?
Actually, Jim, if you go to the very top, they do actually name it and it says the council, so that, you know how they shorten things at the very
Right.
on legal stuff. So if you go to the very like first line in the document, that's probably why it said that. I agree, it's a little confusing. But I think that's why they did that.
Yeah. Under purpose,
Well, again, I didn't know who that referred to, if that referred to us volunteers who meet on Wednesday
No.
evenings, or it refers to something larger, but I'm catching that it is something larger, and don't be nitpicky.
I don't know, does that even need, I don't know if that even needs to be in there, because I don't know if it
Yeah,
even.
you're right, because it really has nothing to do with us, the Council on Aging Board.
Yeah, but
truthfully.
her director's report does talk about the drivers, it does talk about, you know, what her staff is doing and how many people participate, so I would suggest you leave it in.
that was a
Okay.
simplification. Actually, it was a clarification, because in the past, it looked like the volunteer board had a say
Yeah,
over
yeah,
the employees. And so this was just a simplification asserting that, no, it's the director, not us.
right.
I had reached out to Mr. Mayo about that one specifically when it said that. I can pull up his email and he said, yeah, no, that's from the original way. I have to go through 1,000 emails. Let me just pull it up and see.
So was he saying he's comfortable with that language, or what was he saying when he said that?
The old language, he said, yeah, that shouldn't be there. Take it out. Let me just see if I can find
Oh,
it.
where it said the council shall have the power to hire. Yeah, we all agreed
Yeah.
with that.
He was like, yeah, that's really old. That's definitely would come out. I have too many emails, clearly.
But I think this is a good thing to have, because it clearly defines the separation of powers. That
Yeah, I think
we are
so.
not involved with, decisions, operational decisions that involve paid staff.
Would it make sense if we just clarified it by adding employees of the Council on Aging and just put the on aging in there?
We
I
can,
think-
yeah. But it is clarified under Article 1, purpose, that when they say the word council, they mean Wakefield Council on Aging.
Oh, okay. That's true. Oh, yeah, right there.
Good.
All right, so I'm sorry, I'm a little confused here so what are we doing with this section? What's being recommended?
I don't think we decided yet.
I don't think we really need to do anything. We could just leave it.
Are you okay with it, Jim, now that we talked about it?
Now I'm getting the idea that the Council on Aging is Karen and the rest of the staff and our volunteer group. It's that broad. I don't know if that sounds reasonable. And I'm sorry, I was looking at it in a narrow sense, thinking, we were the Council on Aging, and, we did not supervise or direct or.
Yeah, we don't make decisions about hiring either. We don't even interview, we don't. So,
We attempt to meet all of the needs.
yeah,
It's fine by me to leave it as is.
I'll remember the conversation we had fondly, so I'm happy to include
okay. Yeah, I'm okay with it.
it.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna leave that as is. Any other considerations? So we have two revisions, right? One related to the, whatever the motion was that was made. One related to the, term limits, removing section D, and the second one. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm embarrassing myself here. The 72-hour note, in accordance with town bylaws for notice of meeting. And no other changes. Are there any other changes or fixes that need to be made?
No, just that, revised February. I thought it was gonna be at the bottom, but I see it at the top, so. The revision date.
February.
Yeah, I
Well,
see, I see it. I usually put it at the bottom of all my things, so, but I see it, it's at the top, so. That's good.
So now we're gonna revise it as of if we vote to pass this, our revision date will be today, right? That's correct.
Yeah.
March 13th. All right, so the motion's on the table to accept with 2 revisions. It's been seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor? Right.
I
Aye.
second. Oh,
Okay.
who second? Did anyone else
Well,
second?
you can second it because it's a revised motion, yeah, so you,
Okay.
and everybody's in favor, I think. Every hand went up, I believe.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna abstain just because I
Okay.
feel like I should,
Okay, we still have a quorum though, so.
because it directly like kind of links me.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a
I
wise,
always err on the safe side. At the
Yeah,
housing
yeah.
authority, it comes up when we have tenant board meeting members, they're not supposed to vote on things that involve like their building or their apartment.
Hmm.
From the housing authority world, will they be okay that we're voting to make you be a part of us without you voting saying you agree?
I do agree. I already said that, so
Okay.
I'm fine to work with all you folks. This is a nice group, so.
we've
Okay.
we've passed the bylaws, yay, yay. Lots of blood,
Good
sweat,
job, everybody.
lots of blood, sweat and tears. Thank you so much, everybody.
I have a question. Does Karen get to vote on this?
No, I'm not voting
Okay.
member.
Okay.
Yeah, so we Maureen abstained, but we still had 5 in favor,
Mhm.
just a quorum.
We
I
have
don't know if
good-
I can ask this, but I'm gonna ask it. Is that was the member, the public that was here is involved with the housing authority in any way? On the board or anything? Can I ask that?
She's not on the board.
Okay,
And I assume that is who we were waiting for emailing Karen. Okay.
Yeah.
And
okay.
what, may I ask what happens with her? Her concern was what? Don't appoint the director of the housing agency, don't appoint the director
Don't
to
appoint a staff person.
a staff person. But that's what am I correct? That's what we're asking for?
Yes,
And we did that for continuity,
Mm.
to choose someone who was not just a volunteer, but someone who was senior staff, that we wouldn't
Be a
have all kinds of
resource.
turnover.
Yeah, well, I thought a resource too for,
yeah.
Right, we have a good connection with the Council on Aging for sure. It's a good match, there's no question. And we talked about this, there are other boards that have like other people and staff members on them and. Right, didn't we talk about that already?
Well, I think I wondered if it was true, the statement she was making, because I think cross fertilization is a wonderful concept. You have all these silos all over town that sometimes is very detrimental to getting things done.
Yep.
I think the other thing is that this board is not, we have fiduciary fiscal, I should say, oversight, but not actual authority. And so you're advising and we're advising, right? We're a supportive council, which is a little different than other boards that actually may have the power to,
Mm,
accept different things or mandate certain things. So I think it's a,
Yeah. I
my
think that's a-
take was she was interpreting it perhaps, I appreciate her, point of view.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's not the genesis of this group.
Right, we don't vote on the budget or anything like that.
Right.
Or, yeah, okay,
And in this case too, it's 2 separate entities really, because housing does not work for the town. So it's
right,
not like it's 3 town boards that all report to the town council.
you're right. All right, what's
All right,
next
thank
on the
you.
agenda?
Well, I'm gonna once again table the last item, which is about housing. But I do want to do that, and
Okay.
I think it's an important, especially now that we have an official housing authority board member. on our council that, you know, for us to understand what happens with people that are looking for housing in the town of Wakefield. Seniors that are looking for.
Okay. Well, we won't have the bylaws to take up all of our
Right.
time
no,
next
so
month.
we'll do that in next month. And, right, the human services is not coming until May, Karen, is that right?
I'm sorry, what's coming in May?
Human services, about the survey, the social isolation?
Oh, yeah, they asked to come to the meetings. Was one coming in April and one in May? I can't remember now. It's been a blur over here.
Well, let's have them come in May, if that's all right.
I think she's planning on it, so maybe we could try and be quick with the housing and still let her
Well, yeah,
come.
we don't have anything, we've done the bylaws, we've done the orientation, you know, we made a lot of progress tonight, so, okay, we can, but let's do housing first, because that's my
Okay.
vote.
Yeah, and I don't
If
think
you,
it'll be
if you
long.
want to, Susan, you know, send me some questions too, you
Okay.
know, like so that I can tailor it. You know, don't send them in the group email, but
Yeah,
anybody can send them to me individually if they have something specific.
and I had asked Karen too, to address a couple things.
Right.
because Somebody in this town that needs help, they're gonna come to the housing or they're gonna go to the senior center or
They
the
are.
human services, but, so what happens? You know, all right, I will.
Okay. All right.
And if any of you have any questions that you'd like, you know, let me,
I'll
please.
send them to Susan.
Yeah. And I'll forward. But I think you probably all would like to adjourn rather than listen to that now.
I'll look forward to it, though.
Yeah, I hope I have
With
good,
interest.
it
I
is,
hope it doesn't depress you, is what I'm afraid it might do, but I hope that it doesn't.
I know, well, I
oh,
think,
I
you know,
just
but
wish, yeah. It's not always good news, but it's the news and it's a complicated process, so it's good to
Yep.
get the word out there.
yeah,
And I know we're due to come to the senior center too, but my housing manager left and she was gonna come and do a talk, Karen, so we can still do that.
Yeah, I would love to do that, so I'll sit
Yeah.
down, we can figure out what's good.
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
Well, I think everybody raised their hand and pat their back because we did good work tonight. Thank you, we've done good work.
Good job.
Nice job, Susan. Thank you.
We have accomplishments. So, thank you all. Entertain a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
At
Second,
7:30 exactly.
Exactly, Sherry.
Okay.
Nicely done.
Good management.
all right. All right, well, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody, and whatever comes in between now and then, there's holidays of all sorts happening, so thank you. Bless